Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of 3 Days to Close, the podcast where leading realtors share their stories and strategies for success. I'm your host Tim Schultz, co-owner and lead photographer at Bright House Photography, and with me is my co-host, my firstborn, Max Schultz. How you doing, Max?
Not too bad, guys. Excited to be here.
Yeah, well, we're really excited because the both of us know our guest for some time now, and he's probably our favorite guy in Delco, and once more, he is a rock star realtor. And that is Tim DiBernardino from the Brent Celek Group in Media, Pennsylvania. Tim, how are you, bud?
Doing well, guys. Good to see you again. Appreciate the opportunity to come on.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. We're glad to have you. And, part of this podcast is to really gather up thoughts and opinions of producers that we really think kick it, just knock it out of the park. So we're glad that you're here. Most people get into real estate for different reasons. It's not always high school to college to real estate. You have your own story, Tim. I wonder if you could share a little bit about how you got to this point in your career.
Sure. Yeah, appreciate it. Graduated. First of all, I went to college. I majored in accounting and had the grand plans. I was going to be a federal agent one day.
You got the look.
I appreciate that. Yeah. Got the haircut now. But once you get out, I did work an internship at a CPA firm. The people were great, but it was just like the behind the desk work wasn't for me. I'm a go-getter. I'm always like kind of on the move. I'm always kind of looking for ways to make something happen. And not that you can't do that in accounting or that field, but it was just after the internship, I was just I need something different.
I did the same thing. I was doing clinical research for a while, and then I was like, "Oh my god, this is terrible. I don't want to do this."
Yeah, I'm a people person, man. I got to be out in front of people. So, once I did that internship, graduated, went on a couple interviews. A buddy of mine who owned a insurance agency, was like kind of brought it up to me. Did you ever think of sales, this and that? So I said, never really thought of that, but he gave me an opportunity. So I went and took the insurance test, and I first job out of college was a licensed insurance agent. I was actually down in Manayunk section of Philadelphia. It was his office.
So was that life or property casualty? Which
a little both. I was licensed in that and everything, but my main focus for him to build the book was commercial insurance. So there's a lot of mom and pop shops up and down Main Street. So with his guidance, door knocking, popping into local stores, just talking to people. Who's your insurance with? Kind of got started in losing the fear of meeting strangers and getting in front of them and letting them know that I can help them in a certain way, which I'm grateful for now. Looking back, that was what was that, 2006? So almost 20 years ago, 18 years ago, coming up on. So that was definitely like a stepping stone for me in the sales end of things. After a couple of years, I was kind of looking into investing in real estate myself, and was using another realtor who was a close family friend. He did it part-time. He was more of a general construction manager. So having his eye for what kind of work properties needed, we looked at oh my God, probably 50 to 100 properties over a couple of years. For stuff to flip or hold on, buy and hold. And
you get the experience like all at once there, huh?
All at once, try it up. And then, when I was doing that, I got kind of bit by the bug. Like, I want to do the investing. I want my own stuff. I want to build stuff and buy the bad stuff, make it nice and represent it and, remarket it to people. And so I left the insurance stuff, started working the construction end with my uncle and a couple buddies who were in the trades, learning the ins and outs of the construction stuff. I've never done that before, and what to look for in these properties. So went that route, did that for a bit, and then as we were crunching numbers on certain properties with the flips that we had in mind with the other agent, I just saw how much I would be paying out in commissions on the buy side, on the sell side, and thought, well, I could just do everything. And
One-stop shopping.
One-stop shopping. So I was like, I'm going to go take the test. So I went and studied for the real estate test, took the classes, passed. Now the state of Pennsylvania doesn't issue your license until you actually pass the test and sign on with a brokerage. So your license is really held in escrow until you actually have a brokerage that you sign on to. So during the construction end of things, I met a realtor who had a team in Havertown. So I told him I was doing it, and he sat me down and we talked, and I started there and worked there for a little bit, and then made my jump to the new office. But that's basically how I got started.
So Tim, did you have one person or several people that you can point to say they gave you the push, or was it kind of self-discovery? Did you have a mentor of sort at that time?
So I mean, yeah, like in the beginning, the insurance agency owner, Brian McComb, who I've known since I was a kid. He was friends with my brother. He coached me in baseball. The sales end of things, he kind of helped me with that. He had had the agency for about 4 years before I signed on, but he worked in another agency before that. So him kind of like showing me the ropes, let me sit in on some of his personal meetings with some of his own clients, see how he talks to them and presents to them. And then once I got into the real estate, I joined that team. It was a Kevin Toll team at Long and Foster. Kevin was a pretty successful agent himself. His main thing was the telephone. He wasn't afraid to cold call people. Same thing, kind of let them know, like, everybody knows somebody, but, I'm me and I know I can help. So once you get over those hurdles, he kind of helped me get over the phone hurdle. I'm better face to face, but the phone's also a great tool and for people that you would never be in front of. So you can't be afraid of it. So he was a big help with that side too.
It's always like more points of contact, right? You're like, point of
Exactly.
contact, email, it's like, it's okay. Phone, you're gonna do better. Face to face is like optimal.
Oh yeah. And then growing up in the family that I did, I have a big family. I'm in the middle of brothers and sisters, a bunch of cousins, aunts, uncles, my parents. The personalities and all that stuff, and getting a feel for everybody and how to talk to people. Just growing up kind of came naturally. So it's definitely helped me in my business with the communication and all that.
Yeah, I would say it has. Listen, I want to talk to you about the market right now. A couple of days ago, we spoke about interest rates and things like that, and how it's affecting, and what kind of houses are on the market right now. But at this point in time, at present, how do you see the market?
Market is definitely tough for everybody, for buyers. Obviously you hear it's a seller's market. They can still run into the issues of overpricing a home though. And, in this market, when somebody sees something not moving, especially in the suburbs, if something doesn't move right away, there's an automatic sense of what's wrong with it or whatnot. So it's not like I can stick a sign in the yard and it sells itself. I still have to have the conversations with the sellers on, you still got to present the home as if it wasn't a seller's market, because your ultimate goal is to sell it for as quick as possible for the most money. And, there's still work to be done on that side. Buyers, it's extremely tough. It's still very competitive. Rates are up. So you kind of see some buyers maybe, backing out a bit, but there's still plenty of them out there. So it's still kind of cutthroat from that end. And again, especially in the suburban markets, which is our main focus.
Yeah.
You had a great expression. I was talking about the camera and the lens. You were talking about mortgage. You marry. Give me that expression.
You marry, the generic line. You marry the home. You date the rate. Even rates are high, and people get scared of that monthly mortgage right now. But even if you bought when they were down at the high sixes, you're most likely we're going to refi that in the next however many years anyway. So it stinks where they're at now for some people. Everybody sees their friends refied at 3%, or their family paid much less of a rate. And unfortunately, if you weren't able to get a house then, and you still need a home, the rates I can get, are scary, but I do my best to talk them through it and let them know like that they're temporary.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like, 50 years ago would have been a great time to buy down the Jersey Shore. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
We all should have done it.
Everybody
I don't know why we didn't do it. I wasn't born yet, but I wish I did.
Well, even when we were buying our first house, we got a 10% mortgage, and we thought we were the kings of the
Oh
hill.
yeah.
You know, that's when it was 15, 16% mortgages.
Yep.
So I guess it's all relative.
It's all relative. Yeah, yeah.
You know, you guys cover Delaware County quite a bit, but you're also everywhere else, including over the river. You're also licensed in New Jersey. Tim, are there any hot spots or any opportunities either in New Jersey or Pennsy that you see in the market right now?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much the suburban neighborhoods are pretty much very competitive. Obviously, there's certain pockets that more so than others. Just here in Delaware County, I grew up in Delaware County, grew up in Drexel Hill. That's never been, over the last 20 years, it hasn't notoriously been a hotbed for real estate, but over the last, handful of years with COVID and all that stuff,
Coming back.
it's coming back. Yeah, they're getting good numbers. The houses are nice. They're selling quickly. I loved growing up there. It's a great little location. It's convenient to the city. It's convenient to Chester County, wherever you got to be. Going south down Delaware or whatnot, it's a great spot. So Delaware County's got a lot of great little pocket neighborhoods. Springfield, Broomall, Newtown Square, obviously Media. We're here in Media. Chester County, everybody from Delaware County that grew up here, like a lot of my friends moved out that way. You got more bang for your buck at some point in the market for the size of the house, the lot size, the space. People used to think that was too far away when we were growing up. That was a hike, 20 minutes up Westchester Pike. But nowadays it's people are flooding out that way. Even out to Downingtown. Downingtown used to be the sticks for us,
Yeah,
and now
farm
it's
country.
Farm
Yeah.
country, yeah. There's a lot out that way. So any suburban spots are getting pretty good action, and something lists priced well. It's going to be competitive. You got to put your best foot forward. Jersey as well, suburbs, over the bridge and in the suburban neighborhoods like where Max bought. Just going to the open houses together and showings together. Max, we would be one of 10 groups through these places. You know what I mean? For 2 hours on a Saturday, for the 20 minutes we were in there, we would see 10 different groups, and everybody was kind of popping into the same houses. We'd go from one to another.
Yeah, you start
same cars are pulling up.
competitive with that guy down the block.
Yeah, you start ready.
Get out of here, it's my house.
Yeah. Maybe meet each other for a drink afterwards. You become friends after seeing each other. So, and even down in Delaware, like Wilmington section of Delaware, people started going down that way. Same idea. You go down that way. Prices aren't as crazy as they were here. Taxes are low there. So some people just started thinking about the Wilmington, Delaware area and started moving down there. So they kind of got a nice little influx there.
Yeah.
So pretty much everywhere is competitive. The city, Philadelphia, there's so much more inventory down there, so homes do sit, but there's still buyers down there that the nice ones, priced well, they'll definitely move. So we're in a good little pocket here for what's going on for our business. You know what I mean? It's definitely tougher than it has been, but people want to be here. People want to live here. So there's definitely business to be had. You just got to be ready to go out and get it.
Max, but so you and Tim have been working together, had worked together, and maybe Tim, if you could share a little bit about walking Max and Katie, into buying a house. How do you do that? What do you do?
So I mean, obviously that was a referral, which is good. Having a personal connection up front definitely helps for the intro purposes, but a lot of referral based business. I didn't initially know Max, but obviously I had a relationship with you, and just kind of meeting them and talking to them from the beginning, explaining the process. When you get detailed people like him and Katie, who when you tell them, obviously we got to get pre-approved first, we got to fill out the buyer's financial information. They jumped right on it. You know what I mean? Went through the process to figure out. We didn't want to waste any time.
Right.
On looking at houses that weren't in a certain price range, or we're going to get bid up out of where anybody could be. So we kind of knuckled down early, put a budget together. Like I said, they're detailed. They know where they were comfortable with and what they were looking for.
Katie's detailed, yeah.
Yeah, she's very detailed. Yeah. She helps. So that makes my job that much easier.
Okay.
I always tell my clients, don't worry that you're going to waste my time on looking at houses. If you want to go look at a house that's $1 million and we're only approved for 500, that's a waste of our time.
Yeah.
But if we're in the price range and it's in an area that you think you want to be in, even if it doesn't look like it's a good house, go look at it. Because if we go through and we figure out exactly what you don't want, that's not a wasted trip. So knocking all that stuff out early helped us tremendously.
But that's what was so crazy about it. Like, people don't do this that often. I mean, unless you're kind of doing real estate investment, like you're doing this once, twice, 3 times in your life, and
Right.
it's the biggest financial decision you're going to make.
Yep.
I mean, that's why when we started working together, I was like, all right, at least Dad knows. Right? So we're gonna get content, because you need a throat to choke at some point.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of emotions that go back and forth through it. And like I said, some people they desperately need a place to live. Do you know what I mean? And that is a lot to take on. I thrive on it. I like it. I try to do my best to keep them as calm as possible. I don't lie to people. I don't tell them it's going to be easy. But that's why you got to go look when these houses list. You got to strike if it's right for you. You got to put your best foot forward and take a swing. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And if it doesn't work, I get the emotions are there. Get them out quick, because you got to get right back out there.
Yeah. I mean, Max, your experience, you had to kiss a lot of frogs before you finally found your prince, right? I mean, but that was part of the process. It was part of the learning process, right?
Yeah.
So
I think it was, but you do these things and all of a sudden there's this urgency and you're like, we got to get this done. And I'm texting Tim at, 11:30 on a Friday night. And he's like, yeah, I'll get there in a second. I'm like, really? It's like midnight.
Yep. That's the business, man. It's you gotta be ready to go when it's good, and you gotta, when it's hard, you might have to work a little bit harder. But when you're working with clients like we've been blessed to have, it's, it makes it not only a little bit easier on us, it makes it that much more rewarding too. Everybody's very appreciative of it. Like you said, Max, it's the biggest purchase these people are ever going to make. It's the most money they're going to spend in their lifetime. So it's not something that you should take lightly, and not something that you should put on the back burner or get to it when you can. It's we have our own families, but sometimes work has to take precedent in this market. And I'm lucky to be surrounded by Tiff, and she handles the kids well. And when I ask her, if she can kind of help me out here for a bit, and while I jump on the computer and do something, she's right there and understands it. It helps that she's also in real estate, so she kind of understood
got similar problems.
Exactly, understood the market before that. So
Right.
that probably makes it a little bit easier on me as well. But having a good support system around you definitely helps in this business, because it's not easy. You spend a lot of time away from your family, your friends, and your home and all that.
But you're not in front of a desk. That's the good thing.
That's right. That's a good thing. Only sometimes. Yeah, a couple times. But yeah, I put a lot of miles on my car, that's for sure. But I enjoy it, man. I love meeting people and being in front of them. I love helping people out, and it's definitely been. I got to do it for my own investing purposes, but I got bit by the bug, man. And there's nothing like helping somebody get into a house that they can make their own and eventually raise their families and all that. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, give me the real quick checklist, because I want to make sure we get this. It's like, I'm a new buyer. 6 months ago, you're just meeting me. What can I expect? Like, order of operations. We get pre-approved first. We talk to you first. How do we go?
Yeah, so a lot of people might have a connection to a mortgage rep first, but obviously talking with me, my first steps are, here's we have a consumer notice in Pennsylvania. We have to explain to everybody. It's just about the different types of agency. I would be working and representing you as the buyer agent. I'm working on your behalf, in your best interests. The sellers have their own agent that's going to do the same. So we got to explain that to them first. It's not a contract. It's just legally has to be, step one explained. Here's the different types of agency.
Which is good.
Which is a good thing.
It's a very good thing.
It's a good thing. There's no gray areas there when you lay it out that way and explain it to them. And then obviously, we have a contract to hire me as the buyer agent. We go over all those details, explain that, walk them through it, whatever anybody needs. And then from there, if they don't have a mortgage rep, I have a couple people that I've worked with in the past that do well. I can refer them out. I usually refer, my base minimum is usually 3 people for any type of referral that I give. That way there's no liability on us.
Yeah.
And, let them ultimately make the calls. They're interviewing them themselves. And if none of those three are good, then back to the drawing board, let's find somebody. But before we go out and look at properties, we got to get pre-approved, fill out the buyer financial information sheet, make sure your debt to income's in good shape, you have enough to buy the house. I also like to explain, especially to the first-time buyers, once they are approved, you don't have to spend 100% of your pre-approval. You could be approved for $500,000. You don't have to buy a $500,000 house.
Yeah, big point.
Yeah, the bank's excited to throw money at you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot more expenses that come with owning a house than just the mortgage payment and the taxes and insurance. So
I'm learning that.
yeah, there's definitely there's stuff that an inspector doesn't even find or see that could come up. You could have wallpaper painted over. Yep. Yeah. You could have you could have a brand new system put in that could go tomorrow. There's all kinds of stuff that can happen. So I always try to explain that to my clients and let them know that just because you're approved for that, you're going to have you might be people still are on their parents' cell phone bills. You might have cell phone bills coming. You're on your own car insurance now. You got to you're paying for upkeep, groceries, landscaping. There's all kinds of stuff that goes into owning a home that just on top of your mortgage, you might have another $1,500 a month in expenses to run the place. So I do my best in kind of advising them there first. So I try to lay all that groundwork before we start looking. Then we narrow down the areas, locations. If the school districts are important or close to shops, parks, whatever they want to do, we kind of map it out and start from there. Then I get them set up on the search, and as stuff comes in or hits, or as we hear about stuff, we kind of get running and where do you guys want to go look, and we just get out running. As soon as we're available, myself or them, we're on it.
So if we could, let's shift gears a little bit, or a lot. You have two hats that you wear, one on the buy side, one on the sell side. And for me personally, I love the sell side.
Oh, yeah.
I think, we work very collaboratively, that what I want, and I try to get what you want in terms of marketing. So when you get the call, your cousin or your friend is going to sell their house, walk us down that.
All right. So first things first, obviously, get the address. What are you looking for? When are you available? I have to see the property in person. You know what I mean? I can do all day, run comps and look at local, numbers for your local market and say, here's a price per square foot. Here's your square footage of the house. Here's, a generic number. But me, I like to see the house first, take a tour of it, and let them know my thoughts. If there's, like I said, I did the construction stuff and the investment part. If there's anything in there that I think can be spruced up or touched up or, a reasonable price to get something done that's going to make it pop or push it over the edge, I'm not afraid to suggest that. I'll come out and make any suggestions that I think, and I'll be honest with you, if I think something is going to be a waste of money that's not really going to help you, I'll let you know, don't really mess with that. But obviously, like we said earlier, it is a seller's market, but you're still offering a product. You want it to show its best. So, if I think it needs to be cleaned up, decluttered, landscaping needs to get done, get that stuff done now, because you'd rather pay the money up front, do it, than, all of a sudden we're on the market for 4 or 5 weeks, nothing's moving. And then it's like, all right, let's go back to the drawing board and get that stuff done, because all the feedback came in saying it didn't show as well as it could have. So I go out, I'm hands-on. I got to be there in person and see what's going on and make any suggestions, and obviously get them to clean it up before you show up.
Right.
Yeah, I just mean, like, I think people get stuck because it's their house, right? Like, it's their house. They've lived in it. They've, fallen in love with it, whatever. And it's like that leaky sink or like, that scuff on the wall is not a big deal to them because they walk past it every day.
Right.
And there's a lot you can do because is it still like maximizing price per square foot? Like, that's the golden metric,
That's
right?
the goal. Yeah, that's the golden measure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, every little bit of space counts, man, and especially after COVID, everybody wants, people were stuck inside. Everybody wants a home office now, or, don't fill the pool in. Before, buyers would look at a house with a pool and how much is it to fill in. Now there's a house with no pool and they're asking how much is it to put a pool in. So
yeah,
I like to come through and make any suggestions, and sometimes you got to spend a little money to make the most money. So don't be afraid to do that.
Yeah, that could be a delicate balance, though.
No doubt.
Because homeowners, see their house as it's homey, it's cozy, it's
Yep.
warm, but we have to look at the house as a product on the internet, right?
Correct.
So it's a different thing
It's a
altogether.
different thing. Yep. And that's what I tell my buyers too. Like, don't not look at something based on the photos alone, and don't think something's amazing just because the photos look great. Like, you have to go walk these houses and take the half hour, 45 minutes
Yeah.
to an hour to go through and look at it and look at the systems and this. And anybody can put tile up and paint a wall and it looks pretty, but how well was it cared for in other areas? So I like to tell people.
But it is crazy. It's like,
wild.
like we just go and make this big purchase. And like one of the strangest things to me was realizing like, my mom and dad aren't going to get time to come over here, Jersey, and come see the house. Right.
Yeah.
Like you think that your parents, you imagine this growing up. You're like, well, let dad check it out. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
And it's like, you guys got to experience it only through the photos. So it's like,
Yeah.
that was your, yay or nay, thumbs up, thumbs down, Max, buy the house, came from a Zillow ad or the MLS
Yeah.
listing.
And they were really good photos too.
Yeah, they did a good job. Not as good as yours, but they did a pretty good job. Nobody's as good as you.
Oh, well, thank you. Anyhow, we're getting towards the 30-minute mark, something like that. So I just want to be aware and conscious of our time with
Sure.
you, Tim. But I have one question for you. One question is, what is your superpower
My superpower.
as an agent?
Edge an agent, if you're going to tell us you're got visibility or
Yeah,
something,
give
it's
up
not
my
going to fly.
secret. Nah, one of the things I pride myself on is my communication. I learned early on in sales, the communication is key. Like I was saying with the phone, you can't be afraid of the phone. Texting is great; it's convenient. Emails are great and convenient. Wording can get misconstrued on the text. I'm a phone hawk. I like picking up the phone and talking. Obviously, if somebody would rather text or whatnot, I try to work to
shift
what's
gears.
best for them. Exactly. I know people are busy and have work and whatnot, and sometimes they can just fire off a message, which is great. But if it's something that needs to be discussed on the phone, I'm saying, when are you available for a call? Like Max, whether it's late at night or early in the morning, jump on a call, hash it all out immediately. This is a business that timing is everything pretty much.
Yeah.
So the sooner you're available, get on the phone, hash it out. And then also our team, man, we have 15 agents, including Brent and myself, and it's more of a family than it is an office. There's no competitiveness between agents. If somebody's doing well, then everybody feels good and kind of thrives off that and is always eager to help out. So the team is a huge help, especially when my kids were being born. People filling in for me or running out and taking clients on showings or meeting a township inspector for UNO or just getting stuff done and put the pen to paper for me, putting offers together or whatnot. The team behind me it's like family. It's like my brothers and sisters helping me out. It's been amazing. I'm lucky to have them, and it's been working well for us. So
Yeah, I got to add to that when we met maybe half dozen years ago, you and Brent interviewed me on the phone, which was mind blowing at the time because I thought, oh my gosh, and then we met most of your team at that point. Came out, we did some portrait work, but we got the sense, Denise and I both got the sense that you guys like each other. It's not a competitive group where you're at each other's throats. You actually like each other and cover for each other. So that's big, I think, and that helps with so many things throughout the real estate transaction. That's one of your good superpowers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, the team itself, man. Everybody's there for each other. Everybody has families, like we said. This business isn't a 9 to 5. It's a 24/7, 364 days. Most people take off Christmas, but so if for some reason something comes up in somebody's family and they can't make it, so one of us will be there for them. And we're all licensed agents. We're all buyers agents. We've all worked both sides of deals: buyers, sellers, investors. So it's not like we're just throwing an inexperienced agent out there. When we do bring on new agents or somebody's newly licensed, Tim, you've seen in the past, like you just said, I'll bring them to every aspect of the real estate game. I'll bring them to showings. I'll ask the clients first if they're okay with it. 99% of the time they are.
Yeah.
Listings, just so they can see how I do things or how, how a transaction's handled, sit in on a settlement, come to the photos, see how you work, Tim. Obviously, the first time we used you, we didn't know how you worked, but it was like, hey, blinds open, lights on, fans off, get stuff off the counter, that stuff. You send us your list. That's part of our listing packet now.
Great.
What to do when listing. But we keep your logo on there too. We let people know
Thank you.
you're a real company. So that's definitely helps. Those guys, once they come and see it happen one time or two times, they kind of get on board and
get their feet wet.
Yeah. I'm a hands-on learner, and most of our agents have been as well, and it's worked. It's helped us tremendously.
Good. Well, before we let you go, I just want you to give a shout out, either talk about your office or we did a couple of jobs in the last couple of days. Do you want to talk about any listings that you have out there right now?
Yeah, sure. I appreciate that. So we are Brent Celek Real Estate. We're a private brokerage based out of Media, PA. I'm the broker of record. Brent's the owner and agent of the brokerage. We're partners, and we have, like I said, 13 other agents that we work with, or that work with us, that are part of the team. And so far it's been good. But this is coming up on our third year as the private. Well, coming up on our fourth year. We're ending our third year as the private brokerage.
Yep.
And no regrets, leaving the corporate side of things. And it's definitely a little bit more stressful and, more on our plate in terms of systems and providing the agents with the best kind of office space.
And you got a great space. What is the address again?
The address is 1 West 3rd Street in Media, PA. We're on the second floor. So Brent owns the building, and it's kind of like a shared common space on both floors, and then independent offices that he rents out to different businesses, essentially, centered around the real estate side of things. There's commercial real estate attorneys here. There's insurance companies, mortgage guys, our title company, property management in the building, regular, personal real estate attorneys, residential real estate attorneys, and a couple other attorneys in the area. So, and obviously media is a great little spot to be located and kind of.
Yeah, you're right in the middle of town. It's perfect. It's walkable.
Right downtown. Yep. We can walk to downtown. We go out to lunch together. It's definitely helped build camaraderie amongst the team. I don't mind coming to the office every day. I'm an office guy, and I come in and, I'm communicating with everybody. I'm in front of people. I get an opportunity to get leads. I get an opportunity to pass leads. So we're all trying to help each other out in that sense. But so far it's been great. The private brokerage has been a good decision for us, and we don't have any regrets on it. So we're excited. It's a lot, like I said, a lot of work, but we're plugging along here.
Do you want to talk about any listings that you have right now?
Yeah, definitely. I got the one in Broomall you just did, 101 Thomas Avenue. It's a rancher, 3-bed, 2.5 bath home in Broomall. Buddies of mine, they're friends with my cousins, but I've known them a long time. They
Again, everybody, but go ahead.
A little bit of everything, Come from a big family.
Welcome to downtown, man.
So they're, that one just went up the other day. We're already getting some showings on it.
Excellent.
I got another one in Ridley that unfortunately had to go back to market because the buyers, Ridley Park it is, the buyers' financing fell through, but part of the game, we got it right back up for our seller, and got the showings going through and communicating on that one. That's 102 Penn Street in Ridley Park. That one's up for $240,000. 101 Thomas Ave is up for $549,000. Again, that's that single rancher in Broomall. Yeah. And then the other listing is Tim. I actually have under contract, so I appreciate all the photos.
Excellent. Yeah.
You helped get the people in. So, and our clients have done great with their homes, and take our advice. And we've got a couple of them under contract now. We're negotiating inspections and doing all that stuff. So making sure that we're on top of the timelines and getting everything to the table.
Yeah. Well, listen, I've learned a lot, and I hear from you. Your superpower as an agent is communication and your teamwork. And I see that every time we get together, and anytime I have any communication with your office. And on behalf of Max and myself, I just really want to thank you for coming on to our podcast. And I'm grateful for your time and your friendship and your business.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the help you give us and, and the marketing.